Thank you, I appreciate you.
Good job, Corey.
Yay, Corey! Give that man a purple bell.
That's right.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Chris. I appreciate you guys again. I'm Mike from Magic Me today over in Lansing. We are another combat-based school. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for a little while. I'm known for being an old guy with a bunch of pressure, and I'm going to share some of that with you guys today. I'm also, the way I like to train jiu-jitsu and the way I like to teach jiu-jitsu is conceptual, right? I don't like to come to, like at Magic I teach techniques if I run a class, right? Because people need that stuff, right? But when I do seminars, when I travel and teach people, I don't like to give prescriptive techniques all the time, because that's what you have your coaches here for, right? Like you can get that stuff from them, you can get that stuff on YouTube, right? Like I don't have anything new in terms of technical information. But what I want to do today is talk about some conceptual stuff that you can apply hopefully to a bunch of different parts of your game that can help make everything hopefully a little bit better. I'm known for doing lots of base and stability stuff, but we're throwing that out. We're not throwing that out the window today, but I've done that. I've covered that here a couple times before. Today I want to talk about guard passing. I'm selfish. That's something I'm working on. All right. So we're going to run things a little bit differently today. I'm not going to just start out demonstrating a technique or a concept and have you drill it a bunch, right? We're going to sweat during this seminar today. So here's what I want you to do. Scott, I'm not going to take my glasses off. I'm not really going at it. So Scott, all I want you to do right now is the person on the bottom, your job is to maintain your guard, right? And by maintain guard, what I mean is maintain your feet in between you and the guy on top, or the lady on top, or the person on top, right? So Scott's goal is to keep me in his headlights here, and keep me from getting past his feet to make chest-to-chest contact. My goal is to pass his guard and make chest-to-chest contact. All right? That's all we're going to start with today. I'm not even going to give you any technique or anything to work on. So however you do that, you do you. Okay? But I'm going to give you some restrictions here. Neither of you, at the outset of this, are allowed to grip. I am not allowed to grip the pants. He is not allowed to grip the sleeve or collar, right? We can post. We can hook, right? He can post. He can hook. Feet hook, right? Right. But we can't grab. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're going to start just with that, and I want to see what happens here, and then we're gonna play with some concepts. I want to see how you guys are all doing that.
I swear to God, guys, we did not talk about this before today.
What? Are we in the same wavelength?
We did sticky feet drills all last week.
Did you really?
I swear to God.
So don't screw it up. Yeah, just watch it. Don't screw it up. Now, we are focusing mostly today on the person on top, right? So the goal, eventually this person on top is probably going to pass. But we will also talk about some stuff for the person on bottom today too. But that's all I want you to start. Whoever ends up on bottom, you get on bottom, you can start. Don't start in full closed guard. We're not worried right now about breaking that. You can start in any other guard you want. You can start standing here. You can start in half guard knee shield. I just want you starting in full closed right now because I don't want the whole time you're doing this to be spent trying to break this guard. I want to get to the point where you're not constrained by the legs and you have some ability to get past them. Does that make sense? Okay, any questions on that? All right, so can we do 2 minutes and then 2 minutes and flip-flop top and bottom? Okay, again, no other instruction from me other than that to start, all right? So, you guys start clapping and stuff, right? Usually on 2, 1, 2. I don't need to record all these people doing that.
got it.
There you go.
It's already got it. Thank you, though, Corey. I appreciate it. So, I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. And gosh darn it, people like you. Right. I like you too. 4 people got that right. First, because we're freaking old.
Stewart.
First question: how many people are breathing hard and tired already? Okay, too many of you.
For you guys.
Too many of you. Okay? For 2 reasons. First of all, we're going to do a ton of this today. And then we might even do some free rolling. Now, I don't want to be the only fresh one if we do some free rolling later. So, this is not competition intensity right now. This is when we're learning, when we're putting new things into our game, it behooves us and our partner to slow things down a little bit. Because when we rush to try to get to wherever we're headed, we miss little details if we're just putting something in our game. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is because what I'm seeing people do, since you don't have your grips, I'm seeing a lot of movement-based passing, which is not necessarily bad. But my whole shtick is to get people to do old person jiu-jitsu before they're old, because it tends to be energy efficient jiu-jitsu. And if you can learn to be energy efficient when you're younger, then your jiu-jitsu is only going to get better. Rather than doing more work to achieve the same exact objective, we want to do less work. So what I'm seeing a lot of is this. Trying to move around. Lots of movement here. Lots of movement. Lots of hard work. I'm also giving Scott all this space to move, to follow me around, right? So not only am I wearing myself out doing this, but I am allowing Scott space to move and follow me. It makes my job harder. Versus this. I mean, give me a little resistance. We're doing this together, right? I want to prove my point. So, I am way less tired, and I achieved my objective, and took away his ability to move and follow me around and keep me in his headlights. So what did I do differently here? What I want to work on today is utilizing our weight and pressure to guard pass, especially to neutralize frames and posts. Does that make sense? My goal, my end goal, is to get chest to chest with Mr. Atkinson. Because he's been lifting weights, he's adorable, right? But the other reason is because that's where I'm going to end up in the guard pass, correct? I have my glasses off, I cannot see nods.
Yes.
So yes, right, okay? So that's my first goal. He is utilizing these frames to try to stop me, to maintain the space between me and him, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so there's a couple different ways I can do with these frames. I can try to go around them, but that leaves a ton of space here for him to move and reset up the frame, right? Going around is not necessarily bad. It's not like that never works. But I want to give us a different option today. I could use my grips to try to move the frames, which is another way to do that. Again, not necessarily bad, but that sometimes relies on me being stronger and more athletic than him. Just like going around, correct? Because going around entails a lot of movement, and I sometimes have to be quicker, and at 52 I'm not always quicker. Okay? So what I like to do, what I like to do is find an angle where the frame is not useful and put my weight on it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Give me an issue. this a half guard knee shield? Here's a half guard knee shield. Okay? Where's the force vector for his frame? Force vector meaning what direction can he effectively apply force with? Yeah, basically up, pointed at my jaw, right? So doing this against the knee shield, okay, press back. Doing this against the knee shield is not going to get me anywhere. Driving right into the force vector. What if I change my angle? All I did was adjust the angle that I was applying pressure to his frame. Instead of here, just a little bit here. Okay? Once that frame is smashed down and out of my way, I can get around it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to play the same game. We're going to still eliminate grips from both of you. But I'm also going to restrict, and I'm making some of this up as I go along. Okay? You guys are my guinea pigs. I guinea pigged some of it with the class at Magic last week. You guys are my guinea pig. So I'm going to change a restriction. We're going to see how this works out. We're going to change the restriction for the top person now. Not only can you not use grips, but you cannot, at any point in time, disengage and try to go around. Okay? I want you to have a connection of some sort to the bottom person at all times. And keep that in mind. When there's a frame in your way, change your angle and put your weight on. And as we go today, we're going to talk about more effective and less effective ways to distribute weight to make this happen. Got a couple things I picked up from my friend Angelo Popovsky down at Warrior Way, who really helped me use some pressure a couple months ago as well, and that's been helping me great effect. All of it is conceptually the same kind of stuff I always preach, so really fits in well with my game. So again, same game, no grips for either of you. Top person, you cannot back out and go around. You have to maintain a connection at all times. I want you to try to find angles where those frames don't work, put your weight on them, and then use that to facilitate your guard pass. You guys got it?
Yeah.
All right, on two, 1, 2. I don't know. I mean, if your grips are inconsequential, I don't have to think about these against that. Good. So here's what I saw, what I liked, right? I saw people finding the angles on frames, especially knee shields. Knee shields are kind of the easiest one to do, right? I mean, because we have to pass. When you think about it, what's the sequence for passing guard? Passing the feet, passing the knees, getting to the hip line, and then dealing with any hand frames. They're keeping you from hitting chest to chest, right? So the knee shield is like the biggest lever, and it's the easiest one to access. Correct? So I've seen a lot of people do a really good job putting their weight on knee shields and getting them out of the way, which is good. What I also saw that I want us to get rid of today is explosive movement. I saw people getting partway past and then exploding to get around quickly. And does that work? Yes, that 100% works. Is it as efficient as we could be? No, it takes energy and cardio. I mean, everything takes energy, right? But I want you to be, I want to try to turn you guys into guard passers that once you make that connection, the person under you goes, oh, here comes the steamroller. You know, I want that feeling of, the person on the bottom, want them to feel that inevitability that this is just going to happen. It may not have happened yet, but holy crap, this pass is happening and I can't stop it, right? So, I don't want to see this. Right? Give me a little resistance. Make it fun for me. I used to correct you. Sorry.
Oh.
I know.
Burpees.
I'm not doing burpees.
I'm not doing burpees, no.
I know.
See, right, when you get your second strike, it's like you can make people do it for you.
Right.
You know, so you decide to burpees or something.
We're the purple belts.
Yeah, okay.
But, like, I did not move fast to attain that pass, right? Did I?
No.
Hopefully not. I didn't feel like I moved fast. But once I knew that that frame was smashed, once I knew that my weight was on him, and I took up that space so no other frames could come between me and him, it was just a matter of time. A little adjustment here, a little shift there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is this helpful for people?
Yes.
Okay. So, no more explosive movement. All right? Now let's talk about a little bit about efficient ways to put weight on people. Okay? All right, so we need a little teeny bit of resistance, but let me demonstrate. Right? So here I am. I want to get past, I'm going to use an e-shield example again. It's an easy one to demonstrate. It's big. Everyone can see it, right? So, efficient way to smash a frame here. Again, I don't push into the force vector. I find that angle where it's not, that force vector is not applicable, and I put my own weight on it, okay? What I do not want to do is just do it from here, on my knees. Why? Right? When you put your weight on somebody, you want as much of yourself on them and as little on the mat as possible. Right? So, it's really difficult to just stand on top of somebody and make them your floor, right? But you can do this. What did I have on the mat? My toes. That was all that was on there was my toes. Okay? So whenever I'm putting weight on somebody, whether my goal is to pass their guard, whether my goal is to pressure tap them, oh, that's so fun. Yeah. Pressure tapping people is so much fun. John and I had a debate on our drive here today. He's like, well, I like foot locking people, not even passing the guard. I was like, oh, that's fine, but that takes speed and energy. Like, I still love you, John. I still love you. But my preference, which isn't better or worse, is to make them suffer so much that they just want to give up. Right? And if you make them suffer so much they just want to give up, even if they don't give up, they're going to make a mistake that you can capitalize on. Either advance your position even more, or get a submission. All right, so I'm going off topic. Chris Hodder, black belt. Love you, Chris and Melissa. I'll send this to you guys. Give you shout outs, right? So, again, coming down here and putting just my chest on this is not great. Because, sure, I smash his knee shield, but I'm allowing his movement here. There's not that much weight behind me, right? Coming up to here is a little better, right? A little better, but still not perfect. I mean, nothing's perfect. But really, a position I've been playing with a lot is the tripod. Ready? You okay? Yeah, you can get Charlie horse? I have one. Oh, God. No, keep going. Okay.
That's my idea, man, to do that right now.
Okay. Is this tripod, right? And my toes are up, my butt's up in the air, and this shoulder is, all my weight is concentrated in that shoulder. And I can start to pass from here, because that This is pinned. He's going nowhere from there. Okay? This is, the tripod position is something I picked up from Angelo Costi. I already get my butt near a little bit when I do pressure, but he likes to tripod. And I've been playing with that, and holy crap, is there a lot of pressure. I've pressure tapped people tripoding under diaphragm, lunge already, you know, I use pass guard all the time. Okay? So again, I would put my weight on somebody like this. I put my weight on somebody either like this or ideally like this. And when I go to pass, another thing, don't reach way up here and open up all that space between your armpit and your hip. Right? You can do this pass incrementally. You reach the small back, incrementally pass, incrementally. Keeping my toes, staying my toes on my knees. Does that make sense? It's helpful for people. Yes, sir.
So at this point, we should be focusing on quality of pass and trying to get as much pass.
Exactly. Great way to, are you a writer? You must be. You just summarize. Great way to summarize. Yes, we're focusing on quality over quantity in the 2-minute round. Right? So we're going to do the same exact thing with the same exact restrictions. And we're going to change restrictions up after this round. I have some ideas about how to do that to work on different parts of this. But the same thing. The top person stays connected to the bottom person at all times. You're not allowed to come out, walk around. I want you to, neither of you are allowed grips. I want you to use your weight to get rid of their frames. All right, any questions? I'm 212. Would you mind, please, sir?
Yep.
Thank you.
Do you want to just?
Questions so far?
I may be jumping ahead.
You may be.
You asked first, sir.
You hit the.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, you did already?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Good job, Corey.
So,
Corey, you're awesome.
When you're going around, you said you like to put your butt up when you start passing. Are you like, when you come into the legs, are you already starting to come up before you even start to pass around?
Yes.
Like that tripod?
Yes. That's, can I show you? Yes. That's a great question. Okay. Yes. So again, I want to get as much of my weight, and here's the point, close to the end of the lever as possible. Right? So I try to push his you know, I have a bunch of Canadian friends who say that way. I don't know what you're all about, but great. You got any poutine? So I can't push his knee down if I do it close to his hip. Right? Go ahead, Dylan. Don't. Right? Done. Easy. But if I go down to the end of the knee, if we're just here in the static position and I just close my arm, it's much easier. Right? So my physics. So my no, it's magic. Magic black belt very nice. Okay? So I want to put my weight closer to the end of closer to the knee. And yes, as soon as I do that, I'm tripoding.
Okay.
Because I don't want to give him an opportunity to readjust. If I start this on my knees and I go here, right, he's got all this time before his leg is really pinned. And then he's messing with, he's readjusting. If I start here, there's not much time. And then I can choose which way I want to go or whatever. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Good question. Any other questions?
You first. This may be kind of a blasphemous BJJ question, so forgive me here. Is there any point in time where there's a weight differential with your opponent where it may be a little bit tougher to kind of build that round as far as?
Didn't you watch UFC 1? Did you watch Joyce versus Akabono and Pride?
I did.
Good job. Yeah, size and strength do matter.
I mean, with like, your own personal experience, have you noticed, like, is there a different, like, are doing the exact same type of pressure, there's no,
Notice where I'm putting, Chris is bigger than me, he's stronger than me.
I gave him resistance on that.
He's bigger and stronger than me, right? If this guy gets up, I rolled with Chris a bunch over several years. Even as a blue belt when I first met him, if he gets on top of me, I'm in trouble. I'm older, I'm smaller, right? And so it depends on where you put it, right? Again, if I put this weight on his hip here, it's not working. If I go down to the end of the knee, he's got 200 pounds almost at a point where he can't deal with it, right? And that's how you get rid of frames from anybody. Okay. The hand frame here, if I make it past here and he's framing with his hand, if I drive into the, go ahead and kickstand yourself here so it's stable. Yep. If I drive into where the force vector is, I'm not going to be able to mess with this frame. If I change it, now I've got what I want. Right? So, I mean, size and strength definitely matter. But that's why we're doing these drills here slower, more methodically, because if you have correct weight placement and distribution, size and strength matter a lot less, right? I'm never going to put myself on purpose in a position where Chris has the leverage to bench press me. He will. Yeah, if I go with my hips right under his hands, I'm getting launched, right? So that's why I try to pick the angles where he's not going to have that leverage. You can bench press here, but you can't really bench press here, right? Does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay. Okay. Good. That was a very verbose answer, so I apologize for that.
I knew the question was kind of like, I kind of knew the answer, but I was, from seeing you, how you actually portrayed it, it made sense.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, dude, you're a big, strong guy, and if I remember correctly, you rolled, and you gave me a handful. It's been a while. You gave me a handful, if I remember. I hated you on top of me.
His frames are really good.
Yeah, I hate, and then, I mean that as a compliment. I hated you on top of me, right? So I can't put myself in an orientation where you have that kind of leverage. Leverage, poutine, what's it, a boot? Okay, Mr. Atkinson?
Yeah, so this goes back to your hand framing idea, or you, Chris. So a lot of times, I still struggle with this. If I'm past the legs, I'm here. Like this is where I feel more confident, like change the angle on the hand frame. But I know for a lot of us, I'm focusing here. See, I'm passing this way, and I've got the legs locked. I'm around this way, but I can feel him wanting to trip and wanting to get out. So he needs to control here, and he's doing a really good job of stiff arming me, maybe with both hands, and that's what's preventing me from completing the pass. And so when we talk about like that incremental finishing of the pass, if you're starting to pass the hips, how do you sometimes do that when you just have a really good stiff arm in certain positions? Okay.
It's a great question. Let's work it. Let's problem solve. So you're talking like this position here, right?
Maybe like that, or over under pass.
Like I just try to find an angle where, I mean, there's no,
It's like what rack?
yeah, there's no technique. Like, I mean, there's technique, but there's no, you do this pass, or you do the, so bad with names. You do the runner pass. You do the, the knee cup pass.
You go around.
That one, right? Yeah, that's what I call it. That one thing in jiu-jitsu that you do. So I don't feel like there's any particular technique that we can name that has step A, step B, step C. I just try to find the angle where that frame is not going to impede. Does that help?
It does. I think what I'm asking is, I think we should go around the other way. So then do that. I would do that as well.
Show me. Let's workshop this because I
I think this is because it happens on passes that I find myself doing opportunistically because I don't pass this way a lot.
Yeah.
But, so, I do a good job, I'm down here, but
Yeah.
I'm still away from your hips a little bit. There's not, you're doing that kind of stuff, so I might start trying to come around here, or if I come around this way, I'm still over there. Right, so I'm still keeping the weight here, and I'm still got a lot to do over there, and I'm still
So you're
very
just-
low on you.
You're right now just driving straight into my hands. Kind of, yeah, keep rolling over. Yes!
Okay.
You see how you just changed your angle a little bit? I'm not perfect at this either.
Yeah.
So like,
I always feel like I'm too far away to do that, it'll make me vulnerable if I rotate too much.
Can I chime in on this one? One of my favorite passes to do if I get stuck with the legs locked up like this and coming around is
Wherever you want to put them.
I start climbing the ladder. Nice and slow until I get up into position.
What do you mean by climbing the ladder?
I'm just, it's like climbing a rope, man. I'm getting one grip at a time. And I'm just climbing. So I'm he's shooting the drill.
but it's true.
And
he's actually changing his angle as he's doing that. He's not describing that angle change. But as he does that, he's changing his angle, and I'm losing the ability to maintain that frame. And I'm weak. And old. Yeah, look, I don't have it now. You like just rolled over a line.
But you're gonna reestablish my influence.
So smash that with grip.
So you-
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That helps.
Yeah. Just steamroll through, baby.
Oh yeah.
It's just steamroll. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what, I mean, trust me, I have found myself just pushing into frames before and not even thinking it consciously, but like, you just gotta push harder. They're resisting, so I push straight back. Once I started, and this wasn't all that long ago, once I started thinking, why am I pushing right into their force actor? Right? Then,
That helps.
Yeah.
Rotate my hip a little bit. I've never done that extreme.
Just gotta make micro adjustments.
well, and that wasn't really an extreme
It
thing
felt,
either.
it felt more vulnerable to turn.
Right.
I normally don't.
It would have been vulnerable if you hadn't already pinned my legs to this.
It's turned into a weird TED talk.
So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I hope that was
Thank you
helpful.
very much.
Okay. 9 times out of 10, when somebody asks me a question I don't have an answer to, no, not 9 times out of 10, every time I'm like, let's feel it and play with it, right? Because nobody's got all the answers like that. Like, these higher ranked belts that we're wearing don't mean that we have an answer, a quick answer to every situation. But you've been on the mat long enough, you know, you can figure stuff out by feel as long as you understand the fundamental underpinnings of jiu-jitsu. Base, connection, weight distribution, angles. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're at noon.
Yeah.
Perfect. How about another
Yeah,
30-ish minutes?
However many you want to give them.
Okay.
I'm flexible today.
I'm not flexible. I'm old. So we're going to do another round. We're going to change the restrictions just a little bit. The bottom person is now allowed to grip. The top person is allowed to break grips if they need to, but you are not allowed to grip back. So the bottom person, Scott, I'm not going to go through a whole pass. I want to see how this works with other people before I start demonstrating what I'm going for. I want to see if you can figure it out, right? He's allowed to grip. Sleeves, collars, legs, whatever. I can break grips if I feel I need to, I want to, but I can't re-grip. I can still break the grip post if I need to. I can do anything else, but I can't grab ankles, I can't grab knee pants, Does that make sense? Okay, let's do it. On 2, 1, 2. Appreciate you. All right. What were our experiences with that changed restriction? Bottom person being able to grip, top person being able to break grips but not grip back. Did anything change for this?
Don't I just ignore this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. There are very few, once you adopt this style of passing, I'm not going to say grips that you can never get out gripped or grips don't matter, but there are very few combinations of grips that you really have to worry about, right? So I think, I could be wrong, I've been wrong a lot before, ask my wife and kids, right? I know, right? Scott's been around me long enough, he knows I'm wrong all the time. What was that?
I said, that's what you just said.
Okay, so we'll start up here. A grip, so give me a grip to take my body. Okay, that kind of sucks with the legs, but there's an angle here, right? There's an angle there.
We said something that bothered me. I know what you like and I know what you like.
Right, yeah. So my initial, I'm not gonna lie, my initial thought was I had no idea what he's gonna do right there with grip. My initial thought was, oh, I might be screwed. Then I realized, wait a minute, what am I talking about? I'm talking about angles and pressure. That foot on my bicep is only good if I stay here and just try to fight it.
Just pick something I don't do, so I don't know.
Yeah.
No, you're done. That's done.
I don't know your guard. Can I add something else I'm noticing you're doing too?
Yes.
It's angles, but it's also distance, because my grips only matter if Mike is like in my leverage zone, right? Like he has, it's like judo. Yeah. Like he's got to be in the spot where I can do something. If he's too far away, I can't do shit because he's too far away. But if he's in too close, I also can't do my moves because he's crowding my guard. It's like my guard meter is down to like 60% right now. And I'm going to try to get it back to 100%. So now my grips don't matter because he's closed the distance. And he's taking me out of guard playing mode into guard retention mode. So that's just something I
No, that's a good point. We talked about that just this morning, just before we started today. So, yes, I'm also doing, that's another piece of this that I'm glad you brought up because I almost forgot to discuss it, right? But I'm using this methodology for passing, right? At no point do I want to give up any space I reclaimed. At no point. Now that's different from him taking it back. You know what I mean? So Scott is a very good grappler, right? We've grappled, we've been friends and wrestled around with each other for a long time, right? We tend to know each other's games. Scott can take that space back from me, but I won't give it to him, okay? So what I mean by I won't give it to him, you can have whatever grips you want, fine, right? What I won't give it to him is I won't do this. Oh, I'm not getting what I want. I back up and then try to go around and because that allows him to recompose. Okay, whatever. Okay. I am crowding this here. Now I can put, again, I didn't have to put weight with that tripod on. I used my knee to break this frame. Right? I used my shin and knee. And I did not back up and allow him to recompose. Now if we're here, and he gets his feet on my hips and takes that space back, I mean, that sucks. I need to counter that somehow, but I didn't give it. At no point did I go, here, oh, I'm going to back up now and try to read, okay? Or, let's use what we've been working on, this tripod. I didn't go here, and the frame's there, oh, I'm going to back up and try to, no. I don't want him to ever feel like he has that space to start putting frames and posts in between me and him. I want that inevitability to steamroll. So grips don't always matter. Maybe, I'm trying to think of a grip that I would need to really address, right? And notice when I'm in here, I'm in base and posture too, right? I'm not nose over toes here, ready to go flying. I am postured up, my butt is down, right? I'm in that slightly bent position that my hips are engaged, right? Even this grip, as long as I'm here, I don't feel bad about it, right? If I start to get pulled over, maybe I need to break it. But if I can maintain my base and my posture and continued pressure and not give up any space, 99% of those grips just don't matter to me. Right, yeah, if he's pulling me the way I want to go. I just can't let him unbalance me with that pull. Just what he wants. A good guard player is always screwing with the other person's balance. One more round of that. Grips on top, no grips on bottom, any grip you want, no grips on top. Okay? Questions? All right, on 2, 1, 2. Thanks. All right. Any questions so far? How are you feeling about this with people gripping you? Are you blowing past the grips?
Yeah, you know, I'm going to say this, I always said to you, I'll say about it. This drill is one of those that reminds me every time how reliant I am on, I shouldn't say reliant, they don't do as much, but like when I'm passing, they become like my security blanket. Like I just want to grab stuff, and it ends up limiting my mobility. Because I caught myself here grabbing this, doing this. And when I just chilled out and made myself just surf the weight versus trying to grab it, you realize that there are times when the grips certainly help, but I mean, it's again the lesson I've had to learn over and over and over. That weight and pressure trump that. When I focus on gripping, I start to sacrifice the pressure.
Yes.
So, thank you for the drill.
No, thank you. And I'll be very honest with you. This isn't like the way I've been passing for years on end. Right? Ask Scott. Have I passed like this forever?
I mean, you've always been pressury.
I've always been pressury, but not quite with this.
Not as it's gotten more pressury. Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
And
You did the same guard pass me for like 5 years, so like that's
right. But like, you know, I'll be honest with you guys. This is not something I've been doing for years and years and years, right? It fits very nicely into my philosophy of jiu-jitsu and how I like to play jiu-jitsu and how I like to teach jiu-jitsu. But I really, like in the past couple months, have really honed in on this style of passing. And it's made my passing like 10 times better since I've been doing it. And I started playing with teaching it like this with one of our students at Magic who's going to Vegas with us. He's a white belt, he's been training for a little over a year. He's doing Jiu-Jitsu Con, which is the tournament that's concurrent with Master Worlds. Master Worlds doesn't have a white belt division. So
White Belt Worlds.
yeah, it's basically white belt. It's Jiu-Jitsu Con is all ranks, all ages, unlike Master Worlds, which is 30 and up, blue and up, right? So this guy, we've been doing some one-on-ones together, and I started looking at his passing, and I realized he was using all hands and no center of gravity. And he's strong. He's like in his mid-40s, and he's really fit. But it made me think, wait a minute, no. I got to start teaching people to pass the way I've been passing, because it's efficient and effective, and of course I'm arrogant. I think it's the best way to do it. So we're going to do one more round each, unless there's any questions. All right, one more round each. This time, yes, sir.
I had something Chris mentioned here, like a concept that's concurrent with this. Chris was talking about when you're kind of keeping the feet off. But once you close that distance, the feet kind of pop off.
Yes.
Once you're there, that feet can really close that distance.
Yeah, and that's why you don't give that space back, right? Old Baxter Jiu-Jitsu tenet number 2, never give an inch back, right? So I'm never purposely giving that space away. It can get taken from me because people are good at Jiu-Jitsu and, you know, there's a counter to every counter to every counter, but I'm never purposely backing off to re-attack another angle. Right? If I need to change my angle, I can stay connected and shift around. All right, so one more round. This time, the gloves are off. Both people can grip. Right? Top person, keep working the same connection and pressure and angle to work past the guard. All right, 2 minutes each, and then we'll break it off for questions and problem solving, and then I'm done. All right, let's go. 1, 2, 1, 2.
10 seconds.
Thanks.